Hello! We're gonna do a quick rematch here, just to show something off that is kind of like a weakness with Lucia. Just gonna show one of the reasons that I don't think she's gonna last very long in terms of being, overall a competitive unit. She's good, but there's still like some flaws, or at least two main flaws. One, of course, being that she's just not fast enough, but the other one is what I'll be showing you today in this video.
Very well.
We're gonna go ahead and so this guy hit my defense twice this week, so I figured I might as well hit him back at least once. So yeah, we're gonna show you. This is a pretty decent defense. The main thing here is this dual crown that has the lull, and we're gonna basically just throw her into danger's way here, just so that I can show you what one of the issues is with Lucia that makes her like not like 100% top tier,
as you
in my
wish.
opinion. Now it can be fixed, but it's not like a real solution. So we're just gonna rally, and I'm baiting from here because 3 units are gonna attack at least. Maybe Yoon if she gets danced, but you're gonna see what happens. And it's really because of a specific flaw. I don't know if it's a flaw, it's intended, but it's just something that she has to cope with.
Yes.
So we're just gonna finish the setup here, and then we're gonna go ahead and end turn so that you can see exactly what happens. Alright, here we go. We're almost done, and we're gonna be seeing the combats now. I suspect that Crom will go first because he should be doing the most damage. Yep, because he has the low. So that's 26 off of her HP. Okay, here comes Yoon. And this is gonna be how much? 20. So as you can see, just 2 combats and she's already in a tight spot. Like, that's one of the problems. Just not enough bulk.
I must not cause her grief.
In terms of like overall stats, HP, defense, res, speed. Speed not really so much, but yeah, she just died there because she just doesn't have the ability to run something like Soul or Ather, which would have given her back HP in one of those combats at least. So yeah, that's the main problem with Lucia there. She just can't survive combats. Alright, let's go to another match. Here we go. Alright, here is our last match for this week. We're gonna go ahead and put this Tiki team in play here. This is my first time using it. I finally was able to give her no counter disrupt, so hopefully she performs well. We'll see. It's always nerve-wracking when you're using a new setup, a new strategy, so let's see how this one works. I'm a little bit worried about that Flora because she's going to be hitting kind of hard, I suspect. And I don't know if she's going to get the Ruptured Sky off. So we're going to go ahead and take this on and see what the outcome is. Now, I could have baited earlier with that Lucia from a different spot just so that I wouldn't have had to deal with all 3 of those units, but it's just not worth it in my opinion. I think that you have better units that you can use as Omni-tanks just to avoid that specific problem. Not being able to use a special, it impacts her just as much as it does the opposing team. Maybe if I made her I gave her like extra HP, it wouldn't have been so much of a problem, which is why I mainly use her in Astra season because I run more mythics there. But yeah, just not enough HP for her to be taking on a whole defense in most cases. She just takes too much damage and eventually just loses because she just runs out of hit points, HP, yeah. There is a way to like probably use like Celine and have her heal outside of combat, but 7 HP is just not enough, really. You're gonna need a lot more than that in most cases. So hopefully when they release the Lucia 2.0, whatever comes next, that won't be as much of a problem. That's really the unit that we should be worried about. The unit that comes after Lucia. That unit is going to be really good because they're going to be able to use that ability to maximum effort, because there's going to be enough speed, bold, defense, HP, so that they'll be able to survive more consistently. Oh, alright, so I was worried about that Flora for nothing. She doesn't hit as hard as I thought she would. And so far, Tiki's doing pretty well. There are two builds that I have in mind. There's the build with Aegis, and then there's this build with Soul. Now, I don't know which one of them I prefer, but so far this one is doing well. I was also thinking that if there's ever like a distant counter steal that gives like 7 HP heal, that would be really great on Lucia, because it'll at least would give her in combat or after combat healing, just to counteract some of the damage that she's taking. But even then, it may not be enough, because as you saw there, she was taking like in 2 combats, there was enough damage to basically wipe her out, basically. So I don't know. I still like the fact that you can't get specials off on her, but units nowadays hit so hard that it's just not enough to be ignoring specials. The damage that you take is just, you need to be able to heal, I think. You need to be able to sustain in order to survive as an Omni tank. And yeah, that's what I think the main problem is. We're getting walled out by this Edelgard here, but I think we should do a lot better in enemy phase. So we're just gonna bait from right beside Asker, because that will allow Embla to come down too. And because I'm not running Gatekeeper on this team, I think Triandra might warp down and attack, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and turn here and see what happens.
I agree.
Here we go.
It is done.
Alright, so let's see what happens this turn. Let's see what Triandra does. I'm a little bit concerned about that, at least. I think I may have messed up my placements. I'm not, like, taking it 100% seriously, because I think we should win this, no problem, but let's see what happens. That Escutcheon is a little bit annoying. Oh, okay. Wait, why didn't she attack Peony? Because I'm pretty sure she would have gotten the kill on Peony, no? Unless she doesn't double. If she doesn't double Peony, then that's probably why. Peony might have been able to... But she would still done more damage. One shot. Well, no, she wouldn't have gotten the special off. That's because she attacked once. So Peony would have probably won. Wow, that Refine coming in clutch there. Peony would have probably won that matchup. That's crazy. Oh, wow. Triandra. Well, then again, this is just like a regular Triandra, not like a lot of mergers or anything. So I can understand that at least. But that is crazy. Peony would have won that. Peony usually loses to Triandra. That's pretty interesting there. Alright, well, we're just going to take care of this Edelgard. I'm not quite sure what I want to do here. I don't need the pots because it's the last day, so it doesn't matter. I think we're just going to attack into her and see what comes of it. Yeah, I think we should be done on the next turn, depending on whether or not that block there, whether or not Catcher breaks that block there or not, we'll decide if we're done next turn. But I think Catcher might attack, because what I'm going to do is attack Midius with my Byleth and take him out, which will force Catcher to attack Tiki, as well as Embla to attack Tiki. And I don't know if Tiki's gonna outspeed Embla. It's a matchup that she loses sometimes, especially if I'm bidding for max range, because of the feud. So we'll see how that works out. But for now, I'm just going to take out this Double Guard and take out the Triandra and see where that leaves us from there. Now, I feel like this Tiki is better than the Lucia, but she still has a lot of the same weaknesses. It's just that she's just more universally useful. If only we can get an upgrade to the that B skill, Null Sea Disrupt. Depending on what the upgrade to that is, will depend on how good this Tiki will be. Lucia shows one of the problems with Omni-Tanks that kind of led to people using saves instead of Omni-Tanks was that the bulk, 1, and 2, not being able to heal. When Fatal Smoke was introduced, a lot of people had to stop using, like, think of like Brave Ike, who got wrecked by Fatal Smoke. A lot of Omni-Tanks, a lot of other Omni-Tanks got hurt by that as well. Healing is such a big part of their survivability. So things like Guard, Fatal Smoke, anything that interrupts their special really just hurts them so much because, yeah, being able to tank a hit is great, but if you're down to like your last hit point, last HP, you're not surviving anything, no matter what it is. Unless it's a 0, which it rarely is these days. So, the finish skill that Tiki has here, I think that's like a really big improvement for Omni-Tanks, as well as being able to run your special in general, because you can get a lot more HP these days, and there's a lot more consistent ways to get around things like Guard and Fatal Smoke, and it's just overall better. Which is why Omni-Tanks have been seeing so much of a resurgence. The skills that have been added to the game have improved them significantly, and Lucia just kind of it holds her back not being able to run a special, or at worst, not having distant counter in her weapon. If she had distant counter in a weapon, then that would free up her A skill so that she could run a finish skill. But I mean, even then, it probably wouldn't help her out as much. But at least you get the extra stats, so you could probably run like an HP seal plus someone to support. That's 10 extra HP. Maybe that would help. But for as it is right now, she's just not bulky enough to survive. Like even this combat, Tiki was able to do so well because she was able to heal consistently. Because there's some big hits in there, and she's just done so well with just surviving because of that. And that brings us to the end. Look at that, 36 heal. GG's.